And no one, I mean no one, is paying to see Angel Reese attempt to play basketball. Hell, not even Mama Reese is paying to watch this live.
People feel that Commissioner Kathy Engelbert isn't seeing or isn't doing enough about the problems with the refs and the consistent unfair calls. They think Kelly Krauskopf, the team president, needs to do more too, maybe act more strongly and publicly call out the league for the way the games are being called, because it feels like the team office isn't communicating much about these controversial topics and the concerns that fans and coaches have about the officiating problems. People feel that if the team and the league don't deal with the problems with the refs and make the games fair for everyone, the drama and the unfairness will just keep happening and will hurt the league in the long run, causing fans to leave. People are saying that the league needs to grow up and be more professional. They say players should focus on playing basketball well, not on drama or being jealous of someone else's success. They feel like the league needs to make the game the most important thing, not all the side stories or controversies. They think if players and the league focused on playing great basketball and making sure the refs were fair, more people would watch and respect the WNBA, and it would become a much bigger sport.
You can't tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game.
People are saying that the way the WNBA games are being called right now feels more like a gladiator arena, where players are just trying to survive, than a professional basketball league where skill and fairness are the most important things, meaning it's too rough and chaotic. While some fans might like the roughness, people feel that the fans the league needs to attract, the casual viewers who are new to the WNBA, are turning away because the games feel unfair or too messy to watch. People say these fans didn't come to watch wrestling, they came for real basketball. If the league keeps ignoring player safety and fairness and doesn't hold aggressive players responsible, those casual fans who are new will keep leaving.
Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement. An average ticket price of $137 all the way down to $80. People are selling their tickets, definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower.
People are saying that the problems with the refs are not just mistakes. They're like the refs are making choices that hurt the game and make it look bad on purpose. They think the league needs to make sure the refs are fair to everyone and call the game the same way for all players. People are saying that Caitlin Clark is a hero to many young girls because she works hard and doesn't give up, even when things are tough. They think she shows that you can be a good player and succeed, even if people try to push you down or make things hard for you. People are saying that Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky are winning games and looking confident, even though the Fever are expected to be better and are struggling right now. People are saying that the Sky are doing better than people thought, and the Fever are not doing as well as people thought. People think that maybe the league needs to let the good players just play and not make things too complicated. They think that if the coach makes the game plan too hard, it makes it harder for the team to play well.
Sky relocated the game to the United Center, the home of the Chicago Bulls and the largest arena in the NBA, expecting a marquee matchup between Clark and Sky forward Angel Reese. Now here's where it gets sweet, all right? It gets real interesting right here. However, uncertainty looms as ticket prices for the game have plummeted dramatically following Clark's injury announcement. Oh my goodness. Since it became likely she will miss the June 7th game, ticket prices have dropped a staggering 71%. Oh my goodness. Following from an entry price of $86 to just $25 according to Tick.
People are saying that if the team keeps making things too hard, they might keep losing games and fall behind teams like the Sky. People feel that the lesson from this season is to keep the game plan simple and let the talented players make plays. People think that if the Fever team makes the game plan easier, they will be able to play better and win more games, even without Caitlin Clark or when she comes back, because the talent is there. People feel that this season is showing that sometimes having simple plans and letting the talented players play is better than making things too complicated and messy. What do you think about Kelly Krauskopf's comments and the situation with the Fever? Is the league handling things well? Drop your opinion in the comments below.
I told you earlier, these WNBA franchises that moved games like the Chicago Sky to the United Arena, you're screwed. You're done. You're cooked. Nobody is going to show up to this thing. Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000 something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent. They're a dumpster fire now. And now that Caitlin Clark is injured, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky game just plummeted to Hades.
People are saying that if the team keeps making things too hard, they might keep losing games and fall behind teams like the Sky. People feel that the lesson from this season is to keep the game plan simple and let the talented players play. People think that if the Fever team makes the game plan easier, they will be able to play better and win more games, even without Caitlin Clark or when she comes back, because the talent is there. People feel that this season is showing that sometimes having simple plans and letting the talented players play is better than making things too complicated and messy. What do you think about Kelly Krauskopf's comments and the situation with the Fever? Is the league handling things well? Drop your opinion in the comments below.
We know that wherever she goes, she's selling out arenas. The ticket prices skyrocket. Like, even trying to get tickets to Carver Hawkeye Arena when they played the Brazilian national team at her old school was just insane prices. If she's going on the road, wherever she's going, ticket sales jumped by 140%. Average is $312.
All right, listen up. The WNBA season is feeling less like a straightforward basketball league and more like a full-blown sports soap opera with new episodes dropping constantly, and the latest one just hit with a comment from someone high up in the Indiana Fever organization that has the entire WNBA world buzzing and questioning what is truly happening behind the scenes. We're talking about Fever President Kelly Krauskopf, a major figure in the team's front office, a person who knows what's really going on with the team and the league, and she just said something about Caitlin Clark's injury and the team's situation that has people wondering if the Fever are facing more fundamental problems than they're letting on. Problems that go deeper than just one player being hurt. It wasn't just a simple update about a player being hurt, which happens in sports. It reportedly felt like she dropped a bold statement, maybe even spilled some tea about the team's unexpected struggles without their biggest star, or just let something important slip out that wasn't meant to be highlighted publicly, and her reaction to the situation has everyone talking and adding a whole new dramatic layer to this already intense season. You definitely need to hear what she said and why it's causing such a stir and adding to the feeling that the WNBA is in a chaotic place right now, navigating uncharted territory with its biggest star being out. You're watching WNBA Scoop, and we're diving into Kelly Krauskopf's shocking reaction to Caitlin Clark's injury and what it might reveal about the chaos, the pressure, and the difficult situation hitting the Fever in the league right now, pushing everyone involved, from the front office to the players to their limits.
The WNBA will be reliant on their other stars to maintain the interest of the mainstream. With Angel Reese being the only player with mainstream name recognition, most of the pressure, it is going to be on her to perform. And we have plenty of evidence that proves Angel Reese is not qualified to...
The comment reportedly came from Fever President Kelly Krauskopf, a name well known and respected in the WNBA world, especially in Indiana where she runs the team's operations. It happened when she was talking to reporters and people about Caitlin Clark's injury and how it affects the team's ability to play and win games, especially early in the season. She was reportedly giving a necessary update, like team presidents do, about the situation with injuries and the lack of available players on the roster. Reports say she mentioned that the team is currently heavily down in numbers, meaning they don't have enough healthy players ready to play right now because several players, including their most important one, Caitlin Clark, are out due to injuries. She said that because of this lack of available players, they are actively looking at adding another player to the team very quickly, maybe even using a special kind of contract for temporary players to fill in for someone who is hurt and help with the lack of available players on the court. She called it a necessary adjustment that the team has to make fast because games are still happening, and they need players to be on the court to compete.
Caitlin Clark could be projected to be $1 billion revenue maker for the WNBA this year. Now, obviously, the WNBA won't see that money, won't see most of that money, and it's not just in the WNBA, but it's all of her sponsorships, it's all of her appearances, it's all that stuff. But according to the projections, we're looking at $875 million could easily eclipse $1 billion on her economic impact. Caitlin Clark entering the league last year was responsible for 26.5% of all of their economic activity. So revenue from merchandise, which again, with the CBA as it is currently, she doesn't see a dime of any of that. TV, and then ticket sales, obviously, which again, they don't get anything.
But then, reportedly, she said something that really caught people's attention and felt like it might have been a bit more revealing or unexpected than a normal injury update you'd hear from a team president. She was talking about the team needing to add a player quickly because they don't have enough available players, and reports say it felt like she let the cat out of the bag, meaning she accidentally revealed something important or sensitive about the team's struggles, about how this lack of players is impacting things beyond just needing bodies on the court for games. People are interpreting her comments as showing just how much the team is unexpectedly struggling right now because of injuries, particularly the unexpected loss of Caitlin Clark, and how it's putting a lot of pressure on the front office to find players fast to fill the gaps and try to keep the team competitive. This wasn't just a simple update about needing another player. It reportedly felt like she dropped a bold statement, perhaps showing the unexpected pressure the team is under, revealing how thin the roster might be in terms of depth, or highlighting how difficult this injury situation is making things for the team's plans and expectations for the season.
People might be saying, oh, well, the teams aren't really going to suffer. They already sold the tickets. No. You don't understand. If the Chicago Sky moved into the United Center, and let's say resale-wise, they sold all 19,000, well, when only 9,000 to 10,000 show up, they're losing merchandise sales, they're losing food sales, they're losing beverage sales, they're losing big. They took a big gamble to get into that arena, and they're losing big because it's not going to be full, and those people aren't going to be buying things.
So what exactly is the situation with Caitlin Clark's injury that is causing all this talk and pressure on the team president and the front office? Reports say that Caitlin Clark has a left quad strain, which happened recently in a game. She's now reportedly out for at least 2 weeks, according to the team's announcement. This means she's missing several important games during this time, games that people were really excited to see her play in. What makes this particularly impactful, beyond just a star player being hurt, is that some of the games coming up were already moved to much bigger arenas specifically because of Caitlin Clark's huge popularity and the number of fans who buy tickets to see her play. For example, a game against the Washington Mystics was reportedly moved to a bigger arena in Baltimore to fit more fans, and a highly anticipated game against the Chicago Sky was reportedly moved to the United Center in Chicago, which is the largest arena in the NBA and holds many more people than the Sky's usual building.
The ticket prices. This does not shock me at all. What did I say earlier? The WNBA was about to F around and find out, and these rival teams were going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, they're finding out. Kathy Engelbert, WNBA, you better start putting some respect on Fever fans' names, Caitlin Clark's name. Otherwise, this league, we got to remember, they lost $40 million still last year. All right? They're getting a new media rights deal. That thing won't be worth shit. If Caitlin Clark was to either get really injured and couldn't play, or decided to just say, I'm not going to play here anymore, I'm going overseas.
The main reason these games were moved to bigger arenas was simple: the Caitlin Clark effect. People want to see her play, and they buy tickets in huge numbers, filling up arenas that were previously empty or only partly full for WNBA games. The WNBA was reportedly betting big on her popularity and her ability to bring in fans to sell tickets and bring unprecedented attention to the league this season. But now that she's injured and not playing in these big games that were moved to bigger arenas just for her, it's creating a strange, awkward, and potentially costly situation. People who bought tickets specifically to see her might be disappointed. The question that many people are asking now is, Will the teams or the league give any money back or somehow make up for the fact that she's not playing in these games that were moved to bigger arenas just for her, games where ticket prices were much higher because of her? One article reportedly mentioned that it's unclear if teams will provide any compensation to fans who bought tickets expecting to see her play, which adds a layer of financial drama and potential fan anger to the injury situation, beyond just the impact on the team's performance on the court.
The jerseys, the number 22, the various styles, whether it's a T-shirt with 22, whether it's an Iowa jersey, whether it's a Fever jersey, a throwback, I mean, whatever. The amount of people in yellow 22 apparel is stunning. It is more than Peyton Manning ever had leading the Colts to a Super Bowl. It's more than Reggie, more than anybody I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it. But now she's not going to play. So I'm curious, are we going to have sellout crowds? Are the Pacers going to draw the attention nationally when they play the Sky or the Liberty or the Sun or whoever?
People are also looking at the bigger picture of officiating and how the league is being run overall when they talk about Clark's injury and the team's struggles. Some people feel that the way the WNBA games have been called by the refs, especially regarding the physical play against Caitlin Clark, has been unfair and inconsistent, allowing opponents to play too physically against her without calling fouls. They feel that this tough, uncalled physical play might have contributed to her getting injured, even if it wasn't one single specific foul that caused it. While the team hasn't directly said her injury was caused by a specific foul or by the overall physicality she's faced, the ongoing debate about the level of physicality and the inconsistency of officiating adds to the frustration and concern among fans and analysts when she does get hurt, making people question if the league is doing its job to protect its players, especially its biggest stars.
Without the NBA giving their yearly donation, this league would have folded years ago. And that's the part that bothers me about the organization, the owners, the players. This inflated ego, thinking, oh, we built this. You didn't build nothing. You're just getting by the NBA charity check. And with this mentality, they have these inflated egos and they're stuck in their ways. They think their way is the right way. This is going to be successful and failed for decades. Finally, a player that's worth paying the money for, Caitlin Clark, comes along. What do, WNBA? You beat her up. You treat her like crap. You treat her like she's dog.
People are also talking about the person in charge of the WNBA, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, and her way of handling things. Some people feel like she has a strange way of running the league and dealing with important issues, especially when it comes to player safety and officiating consistency. They compare her to someone like Simon Cowell from America's Got Talent, a judge known for being harsh and focused on performance. But instead of judging singers, she seems to be deciding what kind of rough play is okay in basketball and what isn't, in a way that seems inconsistent to many. People are saying that Engelbert might see aggressive hitting near the basket as good hustle and allow it, instead of calling fouls to protect the players from injury. They joke that Caitlin Clark could get hit by a steamroller on the court, and the commissioner would just issue a statement calling it robust defense, meaning strong play, instead of calling a foul or taking action to stop that kind of physicality. People feel that her way of managing calls and talking about the game and player safety makes fans question if she's serious about fairness, or if she's just trying to make the game look exciting or tough in a way that's not fair to all the players.
Reese and the WNBA have been using race to bring awareness to an incredibly bad product. Once you remove Caitlin Clark from the equation, there's no reason for people to watch this league, which is why people haven't been watching Angel Reese throughout her career.
Kelly Krauskopf reportedly talking about the team being down in numbers, meaning they don't have enough players, and needing to add a player quickly because of injuries, especially Clark's, highlights the immediate pressure on the team's front office. People are wondering if Krauskopf, as the team president, has publicly and clearly addressed the big problems with the refs and the way the game is being called, because it feels like the team office isn't communicating much about these controversial topics and the concerns that fans and coaches have about the officiating. People are saying it feels like the Fever front office is running some kind of secret operation, like a hidden escape room with clues scattered everywhere, but nobody really knows what the plan is or what's really going on behind the scenes when it comes to these important issues. People feel there's not enough clear talk from the team about the controversial fouls and the consistency of calls, and it leaves fans and players wondering what the plan is and why the refs are calling the games the way they are, leading to frustration and distrust. People feel that the lack of clear communication from the team about the officiating problems and the injury situations is making things worse for everyone involved. They're saying the team feels trapped in a confusing situation that they can't easily get out of, where they're dealing with injuries and inconsistent calls at the same time. People are comparing the team's struggles to how good they could be if everyone was healthy and playing well together. They imagine a dream team where Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and other talented players are healthy and ready to compete at the highest level. People are also talking about how good the team could be if they find the right players to play with Caitlin Clark, players who fit her style and make the team better. People are saying Clark is like a famous point guard from the NBA, Tyrese Halliburton, because she can make amazing passes and control the speed and flow of the game. People see a lot of similarities in how they play and how they can make their teams dangerous. Krauskopf also reportedly said that finding the right types of players to play with a point guard like Clark will make the team awfully dangerous, meaning very good and hard to beat. And she said she's looking forward to that challenge of finding those players who fit well with Clark's talent. People are looking at the team now, especially with Clark's injury, and thinking about how good they could be if everyone was healthy and playing well together. They imagine a dream team where Clark and other players are healthy and ready to compete at the highest level. But then they see the strange way the refs call the game, like calling a foul on Clark for just showing confidence, or making a quick move near another player at the very start of a game, calls that seem unnecessary or unfair. People feel this is a confusing and unfair way to start a game, and that it shows the refs are more focused on strange things or showing bias than on calling fair fouls based on the rules of basketball. This makes people watching wonder if the games are fair or if the refs are doing things on purpose for other reasons. People are saying that the team's plan to play well and win is being hurt by these strange calls and the lack of calls for fouls against them, and it makes fans and players wonder if fairness has been forgotten. People feel like fairness has taken a backseat to other things, like making the games look a certain way, making them more physical, or maybe favoring other teams or players who have been in the league longer. People are saying that the team is dealing with injuries and needing to bring in new players quickly to fill in, and they're trying to find a way to play together in a rhythm, even with all these changes to the roster and the strange way the games are called. The coach is reportedly trying to make the game plan simpler so the players can focus on just a few things and play without thinking too much, even if some players have to play in spots they're not used to because of injuries. People are saying that even though the New York Liberty are a very good team, maybe even unfairly good, they also seem to get calls from the refs that no other team gets, giving them an advantage. People are saying it looks like the Liberty have a special kind of protection or favor from the refs that other teams don't get. They joke that a player on the Liberty could do something rough, like punch someone or take their pads, and the refs would still give her a point because she was being creative or aggressive, making fun of the idea that the refs favor them. Meanwhile, they say, if Clark just stands there, the refs call a foul on her. People watching are starting to see a pattern and think that the refs aren't being fair to all the teams and players, and that they are favoring some teams or players over others. People are making videos and posts online showing how the refs miss fouls when the other team fouls Clark, using slow motion and music to show how clear the fouls are and how the refs are ignoring them. They're joking about the excuses people make for why the Fever aren't playing well, like saying it's because they don't play defense, which people feel is unfair to the team given the issues with the refs. People feel that the way the league and some people talk about Clark and the fouls is like making fun of the situation and not taking it seriously, even though it's hurting the game and maybe even causing injuries. People feel that the level of unfairness or gaslighting, making people question what is real, is surprising and is taking away from the game. People are saying that injuries are a part of sports, and they understand that it sucks if you buy a ticket to see a player and they're hurt, but they're also saying that the way the league is handling things is making it look like they don't care about the players or the fans who are buying tickets. They say if a big player like LeBron James or Steph Curry in the NBA was hurt, nobody would ask if fans should get their money back for tickets because it's understood that injuries happen in sports and you don't get refunds. People feel that talking about giving money back for Clark's injury is like saying the WNBA isn't a real professional business that follows the normal rules of sports and ticket sales. People feel that the New York Liberty team is very good, but it's hard to take the game seriously and feel like the competition is fair when it looks like the refs are helping one side or calling the game differently for one team. They say it's like the league is taking home court advantage for the Liberty and making it a rule that the refs have to favor them, which makes the games feel less fair and less exciting for people who want to see a real competition. People say it's tiring to watch games where the rules don't seem to be the same for everyone on the court. People who are fans of the Fever just want to see their team play well and win, especially now that they have exciting players like Caitlin Clark, who is bringing so much attention to the league. They're happy to see more people watching and buying tickets, but then they see the problems with the refs, and it makes them mad and question the league and if they can trust what they're seeing.